The first time my ESP32 boots up, it doesn't have credentials, so it opens up the provisioner. Once I add those credentials and they're saved, on the next boot, the device finds the stored credentials, uses them, and connects. You do not need to store your credentials on your non-volatile storage every time you provision your device. But the code isn't that complicated, and the benefits are great, relatively speaking. So for all the effort you're going through in making this provisioner, I think you might as well incorporate Preferences.h into your library so that you're persisting every single provisioning and knowing you always have the latest credentials going onto your device. I'm not going to try to get into every aspect of Preferences.h. I'm just going to go into the bare minimum to get you to store your SSID and password or MQTT username and password on your device so that you don't have to keep running through the provisioner later on in the future. Let's start by pulling down last week's library. This is a captive portal provisioner that does not store credentials to disk. Captive portal just means that when certain devices attached to the SSID emitted by the ESP32, a page is automatically rendered on the screen. It's a platform I/O project, but it will absolutely work with Arduino IDE. Stay until the end and I will prove that it does. After compiling the code, the ESP32 goes right into a provisioning mode. I bring in a mobile phone. We use the phone to attach to the SSID being emitted by the ESP32. We sign in, it brings up a login page. We enter credentials. The credentials go to the ESP32, which then connects to the internet. Let's take a look at main.cpp to see how this comes together. We bring in some provisioning library, create some character buffers, send those to a provisioner, which returns values inside those buffers that we can use to connect to Wi-Fi. But we do this every time. We don't store to disk, and so we have to provision on every boot. It's not well known, but Wi-Fi Begin actually stores our credentials secretly for reuse later by default. We can actually store provisioned credentials without Preferences.h. It's not a terrible way of doing things, but it's not flexible or robust enough for us. So let me show you how it works and then we'll walk away. Let's just start by removing the SSID and password from our Wi-Fi Begin. We're going to call it without those. And below, let's implement a timeout. Let's call it 10 seconds. If we're not connected within the threshold, we're then going to create these character buffers and call our provisioner. Once we get credentials from our provisioner, we should call Wi-Fi Begin with the credentials. And from here, I'm just going to reboot the device. Part of me thinks maybe here we can have some sort of mechanism to check the connection and then drop down into the loop. But the simplest way to ensure you return to the provisioner if you do make an error is to just reboot and start the pattern all over again. Let's space out to bring in the phone so that we can access the provisioner on the ESP32. When I compile, it wakes up and immediately fails because it calls Wi-Fi Begin without credentials. After 10 seconds, it enters provisioning mode, and I can attach to it using my phone. I can attach to the SSID being emitted, sign into the network, enter the credentials, which then flow to the ESP32. It reboots and then successfully attaches to the internet. If I keep restarting the device, it always attaches. Let's go look at the code and understand why. Here we failed to connect within 10 seconds, so we called the provisioner, got credentials, and then called Wi-Fi Begin using those credentials. We call Wi-Fi Begin, but we don't wait around. We immediately restart. And so when the device reboots, it comes to this Wi-Fi Begin call, and this time it works. If you call Wi-Fi Begin without credentials, it will use the last set of credentials you attempted to use, should they exist. I won't fault you if you want to stop here and just use this for now, but we can do it better with Preferences.h. And just remember, although Wi-Fi will store these for you automatically, you're going to get into other things like auth keys, MQTT credentials. You're going to need to know how to store stuff. So let's just get into the Preferences.h right now. Let's include a library that does not yet exist. And then let's call functions from that library that also do not yet exist. I'm just sketching out what I want to happen. Then we're going to go ahead and build the library to make it so. If we don't already have creds, we're going to call our provisioner. And by the way, whenever we call our provisioner, we're going to want to store the credentials that returns so that we have them available the next time we come through on boot. I'll go into the lib folder and make a second subdirectory for our storage library. We'll author this from scratch, so you're going to see some boilerplate here, standard syntax that goes in any library. Create a class storage, and we'll have a constructor function, and then the two methods that you saw in main. We're going to check if the creds exist and return a boolean, and we also need a function to store the creds when we do get them. In the source file for the library, I will start by defining the constructor and then creating the instance. And I'll admit that this is always confusing syntax. What we're saying is, in our class storage, we're going to have a constructor function named storage that takes nothing and does nothing, and it will be used to define this variable or object storage as data type storage. It's so simple, right? Then in our header file, we're going to export an external reference to that variable or object we just created, so that in main, when we include storage.h, we have access to, and when main includes storage.h, it then has access to our storage object and the two methods attached to it. Let's get back to our library source file, and now we're going to define these two methods that we imagine. They're both going to take the care buffers, SSID and password. And to get this going, we need to bring in Preferences.h, which is like the star of this video. If we look at the Git repo for the library, it references some expressive documentation. And when we go there, it lists out all the different data types that we can store. We're only to be storing strings or character buffers, so you see below that there are two data types that go with the string method. It turns out that you can write either data type directly into your storage. When you're pulling them out, if you provide a length of the expected string, it will return a constant character pointer, and if you don't, it will return a string. Rather than always know the number of characters, it's easier to pull out a string and then convert it to a regular C-style string using this conversion method. Back to our source file, underneath our preference inclusion, let's create an instance of preferences. I'll start using it down below to build out the store creds function. You'll often see when you do preferences begin that you include false as a second parameter. That means it's not read-only, but it's actually false by default, so you can ignore it. This function receives character buffers with SSID and password, so we're just going to take those and write those into storage. Then you simply called preferences.end. Now to check if they already exist, we're going to use a method on the preferences instance called isKey. If we have an SSID, that can only be because we have already saved credentials. So that means we have credentials and we can use them. If not, we don't have credentials, and we're going to need to go to our provisioner. Either way, we want to end. Now, if we do have credentials, we want to get them returned to the caller. So we received character buffers up top for SSID and password. We want a string copy into those buffers so that the values are returned. You see here we have our C_string conversion method. Remember, in the string copy function, it's the second value that gets written onto the first value. This function needs to return a boolean telling us whether or not the credentials existed. So we'll start out by setting a boolean to false, and we'll change it to true if we get them, and then we'll return whatever we have at the end. We compile. We don't have credentials, so we go to provisioning mode. I'll grab my phone and attach to this ESP32 to enter the credentials. Device provisioning. Sign in. Sign in. Enter the creds. We save. Credentials go to the ESP32 and it connects. Now, if I reboot the device, it still has the credentials and uses them to connect. So, mission accomplished. So we got it now. That's what we're looking for, except you now have credentials on your device like forever until you do something about it. For development purposes, at least, let's add a function that can clear the creds out so that you can keep iterating and making changes to this library. Look, this is simple code: begin, clear, and end. In main, I'll fire this off using a macro definition. If clear creds is defined, then we're going to clear out our credentials. Because this is platform I/O, we can put this macro definition in our config file. We'll define clear creds. Let me add a serial log really quickly here. We compile and run, and you see that we're clearing the creds, no stored credentials, so we're going to the provisioner. The microcontroller is cleared out, so I want to get rid of that flag now because I want to go back to normal operation. I'll comment that out and recompile. And you see we go back to the no stored credentials will provision. Yes, that takes 2 upload cycles. Best we can do for now. This is one of the rare instances where the code does not work exactly the same on Arduino IDE. There's no easy way to do those build flags. So what you can do is just type out define clear creds, compile and upload, remove that definition, compile and upload again, and now you're back to normal operation. To show this does work with Arduino IDE, I'm going to copy both of these libraries into the libraries folder in my Arduino projects folder, and I'll copy main.cpp into a store creds sketch in the store creds folder. So here in the libraries folder, I will copy those 2 libraries we created. And then outside of that, I'll create a new store creds folder. And inside that, put a storecreds.ino, which is main.cpp renamed. Here in Arduino IDE, I'm going to handwrite that macro definition like we talked about, compile just to clear out those credentials. They are cleared out, so I will now delete that macro definition and recompile. We now have the regular provisioning, no stored credentials, so we will provision. I'll bring in the phone. I have to attach to the SSID of device provisioning, which is emitted by the ESP32. So connect and sign in, and enter the credentials, save, and we are connected. I reboot again, and we use our store credentials to connect. So this is officially Arduino IDE friendly. I'll put this up in GitHub, and the link for the repository will be in the description. In addition to getting your credentials stored on your device, this is hopefully a good preview of Preferences.h for any future work. Certainly your device configuration, intervals, parameters, calibration, you'll want to store on the device. This is the library you're going to want to use. There's more to explore on this topic, but this is enough for today. I'm Larry. Have a good week. I'll see you at the next one.